Paige Van Zant took a round to find her rhythm, and then in the second round, with a highlight reel knockout, she took out Bec Rawlings, and it was a UFC Fight Night 21 on Fox. It was an interesting card throughout, few ups and downs, few things to discuss, but Paige Van Zant, of course, gets the media spotlight. So in the first round, we've seen her kind of throw some lower percentage shots. In the second round, just Jason, as the commentator was saying, she really needs to stop with these over-dramatic, whoa, head kick, down she goes.
Seriously.
It was a spectacle to behold. But the question now is, over Paige Van Zant, is what does it mean for her with this, obviously, highlight reel knockout? What's going on with her career? We've talked about her before, right? She's a very appealing fighter for the UFC. She's got the look, she's got the attitude. We've seen her on Dancing with the Stars. The one thing that I did want to bring up about Paige Van Zant is I think it's kind of ironic, Jason. On the clip we did a few days ago, Ronda Rousey, we were talking about her comeback to the UFC. And I remember we were supposed to reference this, but we never quite got to it, as we probably went on one of our usual tangents talking about Stranger Things.
Strange things.
But Paige Van Zant stated that the UFC was where her focus was at, that she wasn't going to go Hollywood. Is Dancing with the Stars some sort of weird training regime that MMA fighters go to? Because that seems pretty damn Hollywood to me.
I will not allow you to badmouth Dancing with the Stars.
Not badmouth, but that is her comment about not going Hollywood.
But you're bringing up a comment about Dancing with the Stars. I generally like that program. I find it very entertaining. I think it's pretty artistic.
Was Gronkowski on it once?
I think Gronk was on it, but 22 seasons. All right, that's what we call success in show business.
That is
22 seasons, Dancing with the Stars.
As long as
I would dominate Dancing with the Stars if I was ever given it. I would dominate.
Christmas party, I seen your moves. No way.
Undoubtedly.
No way.
It would be a clear-cut, at least runner-up. At worst, I'd be the heavy favorites to demolish Dancing with the Stars. I'm not a star, though, so it would be more like Dancing with a Scrub. Season 1, Jason, Francis, and Dan. You make an excellent point, Francis. That is the definition of going Hollywood. Actually,
yes,
they shoot it in Hollywood.
They shoot it in the lot, in the hub of Hollywood.
You literally couldn't
quite literally by the Grove, in the middle of Hollywood.
Couldn't literally be more Hollywood.
Yeah.
However, this is what Paige Van Zant said about going Hollywood. And she kind of has a point, I guess, here. Here's her quote in a press conference. I knew, this actually had to do with the Kickboxer movie, I'm sorry. So I knew with the Kickboxer movie that it would cut into this fight camp, and I had to turn it down in terms of her fight with Bec Rawlings. The timing wasn't going to work. I wanted to stay focused for this fight. If other opportunities arise that don't cut into fight camps, I'm definitely going to pursue them. But if I have a fight lined up, that's going to be the priority. That could work in your favor, or that could royally screw you because, again, Hollywood doesn't care about your fights, and the UFC doesn't care about Hollywood, right?
Very true.
So here's what I have to clear the air on immediately. And I know this is going to get taken out of context, and people might put words in my mouth. Paige Van Zant is a star in the women's division for 2 reasons. One, and more importantly than her technically gifted skills in the octagon, is because she is gorgeous. That is why. That is sadly, pathetically, why. You do not, I'm going to show you the women's rankings right now for the UFC. Did I screenshot this? I did. Here's what I can tell you. Contenders 1 through 9 don't look like Paige Van Zant.
Yeah.
I can promise you Paige Van Zant is going to shoot up that ranking in the women's strawweight division to take on Joanna Jędrzejczyk, if not the next fight, the one after that.
Yep.
But I can promise that Dana White is going to try to set up a Paige Van Zant versus Joanna Jędrzejczyk fight. I can promise you Claudia Gadelha is a better fighter all around than Paige Van Zant. Just watched a couple of her fights back before we did this clip to prove that to myself. I'm not trying to discredit Paige Van Zant. It is not her fault she was born this way, right? I just think it's a little bit shallow for all the headlines to report that Paige Van Zant is the next star, is the new UFC, when she's following the Rousey path, right? And on top of that, please don't take away from the fact that Joanna Jędrzejczyk is the best fighter in that division by a mile.
Yep.
So Paige Van Zant might be the darling that wants to become the new, that the UFC wants to be the new star.
Yep.
And Hollywood is going to have a play in that. But it's kind of sad. It's a little bit sad that looks play that big of a role in the UFC.
The only devil's advocate I will play is that she's relatively working her way up the division. It's not. I wouldn't say she is a veteran fighter. I do believe that her looks play a huge part, especially with how marketable she is.
Of course.
Being on Dancing with the Stars is obviously going to help grow her persona. But as well as her looks, her aesthetic in the octagon, as well as appealing, is she's very acrobatic. And she's got those. They might not be as effective, by the way. That's the thing. Is like 9 times out of 10 they don't land. The same way when Conor McGregor first came on the scene, despite from his how confident he was very acrobatic. He was very outlandish with these kicks. He was almost a little wild to watch, and he always had that. You were on the edge of your seat. Is one of these kicks going to land? Is something going to happen? So I think there's two sides. I definitely agree with the first thing, as to see that everyone in the UFC, especially when it comes to women in the UFC, unfortunately, we have to be realistic and understand that when it comes to a sport like UFC, which is a physical sport, is that there will be that audience that's always going to tune in to see attractive women as well as to see the fight in general. That's just
Francis, think about it for a second. It's the fight game. Who walks around in the middle of the octagon, in the middle of the ring if it's boxing, in the middle of any fight between rounds? Card girls.
Yeah.
Card girls in bikinis and scantily clad outfits.
Yeah, but the thing is,
because you're marketing to that audience. That's the audience you're marketing to, especially in the women's MMA. Again, I'm not trying to downplay Paige Van Zant, a 22-year-old who has absolutely got a set of skills in the octagon that can make her a champion.
Because it's a combination, Jason. And I know PC culture, there will be someone out there who
PC culture can actually fuck off.
But the thing is, we're trying to be as honest as we can. Like, we're not naive to say here that this is so great for feminism moving forward, that we can have women perform in the octagon, but the problem is when you're trying to make money as well, there's people that are going to want to pay money to see a fighter that they both find badass in the octagon, that's going to perform, put on a show, and it's aesthetically, they believe, attractive, that they can go in and watch. That's why Ronda Rousey was so marketable, because she was a badass as well as she was willing to go Hollywood, as well as she was to be attractive. That's not taken away from anyone else that doesn't utilize those skills to their best means. I'm just saying that the way Dana White will give her a fast track through the ranks. If she goes forward and loses, emphatically, then you better believe she'll have to work her way back up through merit. I don't think that if she loses, she'll be set aside based simply on her looks. I think that's gone a little bit too far. But I'm talking about the promotion that we're going into every fight. You better believe that that's a huge part in which Dana White will be focusing on in order to allow her to get a eventual title shot if he's got it in his mind.
I think you are right on that, Francis. Uriah Faber, by the way, is her mentor and part-time coach. She's got all the makings, the heart, the condition, the athleticism of a top-level champion fighter, and she's got nothing but time to add to that, Faber said. That's been the hard part, juggling her as a promotional piece for the UFC and as someone who's looking to go Hollywood.
By the way, and it actually reminds me really quick, it's kind of coincidental that they both have the same name, Paige Van Zant, and it's the same thing we've seen in golf with Paige Spiranek, who flopped on her first ever major competition, but still the exposure that girl got. I mean, she signed crazy sponsorship deals with Callaway. When is she any more gifted than someone like Michelle? Is it Michelle Wee or like anyone else? No, but she was able to attract an audience that came in to find her very easy on the eye and was also intriguing to see her perform.
There's only one way to settle that, Francis. Season 23 is coming up in Dancing with the Stars.
See how Spiranek does
on Dancing with the Stars compared to get Paige versus
Jason
Paige.
will tune in.
You know for a fact I'll tune in. Do you know how hard it is to do that stuff?
Just don't.
Do you know how much training goes into it?
Do you dance whilst watching it?
No. But I've always found it amazing. Some of the top-tier athletes in the world, in history, Hall of Famers, have discussed many, many times how ballet and other forms of dance improves their balancing and conditioning and makes them better athletes. Steph Curry being one of them.
But he's still not on the TV version.
But he might. Season 24, Dancing with the Stars.
When he's no longer worried about his...
If you don't know what my future career is, Dancing with the Scrubs, starring Jason Rubin.
I always figured you to be a dance... I kind of, if it was a dance party going on, you're in the corner visualizing what you would do, but you're more so just a shoulder-shrugging guy, just like...
No, there's the Hassan. Hassan actually did this on a clip a long time ago, but it's this. It's cart shoulder shrugging, but it's these. That's what he thinks like the average white boy dance is.
I'm more of a blind man looking for a letter.
Dan, would you like to weigh in on this?
No, he's wrapping up.
Dan is not.
Dan's more. I'm wrapping up, but I'm really in the party circle.
Dan's got the wrapping up fingers.
All right, he's
throwing the fish.
He's reeling the clip in.
Comment below. Who's going to be the best Dancing with the Stars champion of all time? We'll see you next time.